Well, I'm here today to talk to a gentleman who heads up a national organisation, and these guys are responsible for delivering an international event next year. Now, this organisation has got some very unique challenges ahead of them and things that the fire service can learn from. So let's go see them. Hi Martin, good
Allan?
to meet you. How are you?
Good, mate. How's yourself?
Good, thanks very much. Good. Martin, thank you very much for coming to talk to us today. It's a real pleasure to have you here. Perhaps I could start by asking you a little bit about the structure of the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah, it's a little bit complicated. Obviously the event itself is owned by the International Rugby Board, the IRB, but what they do is they grant the hosting rights into New Zealand. And then what happened, and it's about 5 years ago now that we won the hosting rights, that time seems to have flown. What happened is the government and the New Zealand Rugby Union formed a partnership, set up a JV really, and out of that sprung a company called Rugby New Zealand 2011, and I'm the chief executive of that company. So our job, in essence, is to look after the 20 teams that are in the competition, run the 48 matches of rugby, and take care of a few arrangements around the side of that. Bit of a secondary role as well, and that's to get New Zealand excited about this and get people all over the country just galvanised to help us with the delivery of this event.
So we're about 10 months away now, Martin, from the start of the World Cup. How are preparations going for you?
Well, actually they're pretty good. I'm feeling quite calm about things at the moment. The various stadia around the country, the upgrades that have been happening have been going well. Most of those are now finished. Eden Park's finished, Christchurch, Napier, Nelson. And we've got this brand new stadium that's been built down in Dunedin. I suspect that one will probably finish about half an hour before the start of their first of their 3 games, but it is going well and it is looking fantastic. Other things are happening. We're selling lots of tickets. We're getting arrangements in place for the games. New Zealand are getting excited. We're building this festival that's going to be wrapped right around the rugby tournament that's just going to flow up and down the country for the 45 days of the tournament. So really, with 10 months to go, I'm feeling pretty good about things.
So Martin, this is a very big event for New Zealand. What does it really mean for the country?
Well, you know, they tell me this is the 3rd biggest sporting event in the world behind the Olympics and the Soccer World Cup. It is going to put New Zealand right slap bang on the international stage. So that's an opportunity we can't afford to miss.
Absolutely. And of course, like the fire service, where we deal a lot with community partnerships, you'd be the same, I imagine.
We need the help of everyone in New Zealand to make sure we can deliver this directly. And that's where you guys come into this. We are going to need the help of the fire service just as much as we are of a whole lot of other organisations around New Zealand. So you're part of our family.
So what are some of the numbers around this event, Martin?
Well, you know, there's about at least 60 or 70,000 visitors that are going to be coming to New Zealand for this, maybe even more. And they'll be coming from places, we're expecting pretty good turnout from the UK, from each of the 4 countries there. The French are starting to get pretty interested in this, so we'll get a few of them. And there's a huge bunch of people we'll also be getting over from Australia, not just actually people supporting the Wallabies, but a whole lot of expat populations over there, Kiwis, English, Irish, Italians, South Africans. And then, you know, we're even selling tickets into places like Kazakhstan and places like that you wouldn't think would have that much interest in rugby. But there's people that are going to be coming to New Zealand from there.
Fantastic. Well, Martin, being in the fire service, we're very much used to being in the public eye all the time. The Rugby World Cup is no different. But for your organisation, it's very much a big focus for you, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, we know. Because we are on the world stage, because people are looking very carefully at how we go delivering this event, we have to make sure we get it dead right. So that's why there's so much care now going into the preparations for it, so that come the night, it'll be exactly as it should be.
Martin, the fire service have a staff of about 10,000 people, and that's a mix of operational firefighters to risk management officers to corporate staff. In the lead up to the Rugby World Cup, what are some of the things that we could bear in mind from your perspective in our preparations?
Well, obviously, you know, we need your guys to be ready to spring into action if there are any fires or civil emergencies that happen during the time. But a lot of this is actually about joining in partnership with those other agencies that are helping us just create the right environment, and also with the communities that your people are working within right across New Zealand. If we can help people get into a position where all of the planning for this tournament is really coordinated, so instead of each agency, each organisation working in its own silo, if they can understand that talking to the key people beside them, the key organisations beside them, talking to their communities, so that everyone has a part to play in this, everyone knows what they're doing for the cause, then that itself is going to produce something really special for Rugby World Cup. And it also could produce a really great legacy. One of the key aims that we've got with Rugby World Cup is not just to make sure that the tournament itself goes well for the 45 days, but is to create things that last well beyond the Rugby World Cup. And one of the things we're passionate about is ensuring that partnerships are created, that sure, they assist us with the tournament, but those partnerships then last long after the tournament is gone. And I think your organisation has that opportunity here. You do a fantastic job already. It's just another great opportunity for you to connect with others, just to make the community a safer and a better place for everyone.
We're sitting in the control room here of Westpac Stadium, Martin, and there's going to be a lot of people in their different countries watching the Rugby World Cup at home. That's a big thing for New Zealand.
This is massive. It goes into so many different countries around the world. The IRB tell us that the official viewership for television viewership for Rugby World Cup is around 4 billion. Cumulative, which means if you watch 48 games you get captured 48 times. But I'll tell you what, there's something that came out of the last Rugby World Cup that just demonstrated to me how big this is. In France, 2007, and remembering France is really a soccer-mad country, not a rugby country too much. At the end of 2007, the 6 most watched programs of any nature whatsoever on French TV were 6 matches from the Rugby World Cup. And just across the channel into the UK, which is also soccer-mad, 2 out of the most 4 watched programs were 2 matches from the Rugby World Cup. We even beat Coronation Street.
Well, that's a good thing in itself.
Well, it just shows you how far we've come.
That's right.